gardeners, Amy here with Garden Up. Today I want to show you how to shear large shrubs like spireas and boxwoods and things that can take such types of pruning very well. I also have a short version of this video, I'll link it down below, but this is the detailed version where I will get into the why and the how and all the details of why we're doing exactly what we're doing. So let's get started. So tools you'll need for this kind of a project, obviously Hedgers. I like my electric hedgers. Make sure you have a battery with a full charge and probably a charger if you've got a lot to be done. I love these sweeper things. These are really handy and I'll show you how these work. So that's tool number one. Tool number two, for more detail, you're going to need your scissor hedgers. Something with a long handle. It doesn't necessarily have to be a shuffle hoe. It can be a shovel, it can be a rake, it can be whatever, but something with a long handle to get underneath the shrub and lift up the branches so you can get a tarp underneath for easy cleanup. Is some hand pruners for the detail work when you're done with everything else. Alright, let's get started. One more tool I forgot to mention is some kind of a wire rake. I love my expandable rake, but you can use a wire grass lawn rake. Anything like that works just fine. Often I will take an old tarp with a bunch of holes in it and I'll cut a slit up to the middle. I call that a tree skirt tarp. That's great for smaller shrubs. Something this big, I need a full-size tarp, so it's not going to do me any good to use a tree skirt. But I will use two tarps to sandwich kind of around the outside. This little step saves so much time later. You'll see when I get there. Your hedgers. I'm finding that today, for the vertical parts, the sweeper is not helping. It's just getting in the way. Now, when you prune a shrub, you don't want to ball the bottom. You want to ball the top, but not the bottom. You don't want it to go in underneath because the sun won't be able to get to those lower branches, and then the bottom parts will actually die back and you won't have any branches on the bottom. So think of more of a gumdrop shape. You want either exactly vertical or even flared out a little bit at the bottom. So I'm going to hold my hedgers straight up for this part. Switch arms, going back the other way. If your hedger has one of these sweeper things, they're super useful, especially for the top of the shrub. What it does is it catches the debris as it's being cut and it pushes it over the edge so that you don't have nearly as much cleanup when you're finished. So I'll show you that. Still keeping all the debris on the tarp, but I can see the parts that I missed with the electric hedgers. So now that I can see where the lower branches are that I missed, I can clean them up with the scissor hedgers. Still keep your hedgers vertical. I'm not going in. This branch is really big and wide, so I'm actually going to cut it all the way off. Because just cutting it to this point is going to leave a big old stub, and I don't like that. So I'm going to go back farther. And then when it grows back, it'll be light branches like that. Spireas, you can shear these down quite a bit and they'll come right back, especially if you give them a little shot of fertilizer. There's other shrubs where that's not the case. If you did that to a yew, for instance, or a juniper or anything along those lines, arborvitae, if you cut into the dead zone, it will never come back. So you want to know exactly what kind of a shrub you're dealing with before you reduce the size significantly. Thanks for watching this far in. If you like it, please let me know by hitting the like button. And remember to subscribe so you see future content like this. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos or anything like that, leave me a comment down below. really important part of this is stance. How you stand. Make sure that you are solid, because if you're off balance and leaning all over the place, then your shrub's not going to be even. You're going to mess up on your cuts and you'll get something really wonky instead of a nice even round shrub. So make sure to keep your center of balance low, keep your knees bent. You've heard this before for other activities, it's no different here. You also notice that I'm not moving this very much for this stage. I'm moving me. It's staying straight. I am moving. And I'm making sure that my steps are solid. Now for the next part, I'm going to get the hedgers at the angle that I want, squat down, and walk around. Now I'm going to start moving the hedgers. Good stuff to know about the scissor hedgers. They're not straight with the handle, and that's on purpose. That gives you more flexibility with how you use them. So in order to get straight down, as long as I hold them this way, my hands aren't brushing up against the shrub. Whereas if they were straight down, I would have to be rubbing my hands into the shrub. Alternatively, if I flipped these around and did it this way, I would be cutting into the shrub, and that's not good. You don't want to go underneath, like I already mentioned. The other great thing about these is that you can actually hedge across and get a good shape because they're tilted downward, whereas if I flip them upside down, I'd be bending and hurting my back a lot. So understand the shape of your scissor hedgers so that you can use them to your advantage. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to hit like, comment, subscribe, all the things, share with your friends and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the garden.